Good morning to everyone. Hopefully everyone's audio's on, or afternoon or evening from wherever you're joining us, and welcome. We're excited to have everyone here. My name is John O'Brien. I'm the growth manager at ProNovos, and I'll be moderating for today's half-hour webinar. We're joined by Scott Marco, president of Zernco Inc., which is a general contractor based in the Sunflower State in Wichita, Kansas. And we're also joined by ProNovos founder Bruce Orr, who will help facilitate the presentation and answer any questions that you guys may have throughout. Just one quick thing before we get started, a housekeeping item. If you guys do have any questions, if you could please drop it in the Q&A box in the bottom black bar, and I'll circle around to it throughout the presentation to get those questions answered. So without any further ado, Scott Marco.
All right. Thank you, John. Hi, I'm Scott Marco. I'm with Zernco, like John said. I've been in construction since I was 18 years old, started just being a laborer and swinging a hammer. And this is now going to be my 10th year here at Zernco. I purchased the company 100% back in 2019. And we have been utilizing ProNovos, and that's what I want to tell you about today. But before I do that, I'll let Bruce introduce himself as well.
Yeah. Thanks, Scott. Hello, everyone. I'm Bruce Orr. I'm the founder of ProNovos, and I just wanted to make a quick note and just tell you, Scott, it's been such a great experience working with you and your team. You guys are forward thinking, and I love how data driven you all are, and I am excited to hear about what you have to say about your experience and how you're also improving things at Zernco. I know that you have some big ambitions for the company, and technology is I think is a big cornerstone to the growth of your organization. So without any further ado, I guess we can get started. Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience and yeah. I mean, the floor is yours. You are the man of the hour.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with you all so you can see it. And again, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat box. John's going to keep an eye on those. We can try and we'll definitely get to them at the end. If they're pertinent to what we're talking about at the time, he may jump in here and we can address those as we go. So a little bit about Zernco. We are a commercial general contractor. We're based in Wichita, Kansas. We've been in business for 25 years, and just I'll kind of give you a little bit about us just so you can kind of compare on size-wise and what you guys do, how many projects you're doing, et cetera, so you can get an idea of how we're utilizing the software. We started as a small cabinet shop actually in Kansas, and we were doing a lot of restaurants, Pizza Huts, Applebee's. We did all the cabinet work for these places, and we would come in, we'd set our cabinets, and we kind of took over the project, and we're directing traffic and directing the schedule. And our owners took notice of that, and they said, why don't you guys just build the whole thing for us? And so that's kind of how we morphed into a general contractor back in the 90s. Since then, we've grown to 34 states, and we do new construction, remodeling, and facility maintenance as well. So these are just a few of the clients that we work with. As you can see, we sort of have a specialty. It's still in the restaurants and in retail. We do a lot of convenience stores as well. And our projects on average are about 3 to 4 months in duration. Now, we also do a lot of fast projects, a lot of quick remodels where we're only in there for 2 to 4 weeks maybe. But on average, about 3 to 4 month long projects. We have about 50 employees now, and we're doing around 35 million a year revenue. And I would say probably one of our biggest challenges that we have is, just because we are so spread out all over the country, is just staying connected and making sure that the guys in the field have what they need and that they're communicating back to the office as well, so that we know what's going on the site, because our projects are quick. And you build a ground up Wendy's, for example, it only takes 90 to 100 days to build one of those. And so you cannot have any downtime. You cannot miss a day. It's not like a project. I've worked on projects also in my career where they're 2 years long. And so, you have a rain day or something like that and you miss a day. It's not a big deal. You can make it up somewhere. It's really hard to make that up on a 90-day schedule. But you can track those things, and I'll show you where you can track those things, and it's going to help you with tracking delays with your owners as well. So what led us to choosing ProNovos? Well, I'll tell you about our accounting software first. We use Foundation construction accounting software. There may be some of you that are familiar with that. But over 3 years ago, we made the decision to implement a different project management software, and it was supposed to sync with our accounting software. 3 years later, a lot of headaches. They could never get it to sync with our accounting software. So really what we ended up doing was a lot of double data entry, putting it both into our project management software and then also putting it into our accounting software. So you had that, and then you also had an extremely high price tag with the one that we were using previously. It's one of the most popular ones that's out there. And we actually discovered ProNovos through CFMA and decided to give it a shot since, number one, it worked with our accounting software, and number two, it was about a quarter of the price of what we were using. And so, yeah, we made the leap and we love it. And so I'm going to show you some snapshots of our system, what we're using it for, so you guys can kind of get an idea of how this thing functions.
So Scott, before you do that, I just have a question because, I know how important it is to have that synchronization between systems. When you had to do the double data entry, I assume that was also getting information from the field and communicating to the office. There was a gap that was there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of extra entry that could have been automated, and that's what we realized. And that's where we would bring that up with our customer service team with our previous software we were using. And it was like, yeah, we're working on it. We'll get to it. And nothing ever happened. And props to you and your team, Bruce. That's one of the things that we love about you guys is that it's not very often you get the CEO of the company jumps on a Zoom call with you and wants to help you make improvements on the software. And so that's what you've been doing. And we've been able to customize this. There's some reports in here that they're going to see too that you guys have customized for us.
Yeah, well, yes, we hey man, we want to make you guys happy and successful. So yeah. So this is your environment.
Yeah, this is what let's say a superintendent would see when he logs in. So our field guys have tablets, they've got iPads, and then some of them have laptops too. It's up to them. We let them choose what they like. iPads are very user friendly with this. So they'd log into this dashboard and this is what they would see. They've got, this is just a directory of subcontractors with contact information. All the project information is stored right here. So if they're traveling, let's say we've got some carpenters that they might only be on a job for 1 week and then they get moved to another one to go do some carpentry work on that one. They can pull up the information here, see where the address is, find the job site easily. They don't need to be calling the office and trying to get directions to go to the site. We just give them the name of the job. They can pull it up right here. Now, I will say implementation was fairly easy for us on this just because we had gone through the process of implementing a project management software, 3 years ago. Depending on your company, like if you've implemented software before, it's you gotta make a schedule, you gotta plan it out. It takes a lot of work to get it done. Because we already had a project management software, this was pretty easy. We did some quick training with the guys and we were off and running in a matter of weeks with ProNovos. So yeah, this is really just the main contact page.
Yeah. You know, I want to just also add, um, I've never asked you this question before, but one of the things that we try to do as a company is make it easy to use. And this speaks to what you were talking about. You went from one project management application to another, but you guys did the due diligence to make sure that the team was ready to go. I think earlier you talked about having ambassadors, which was great, right? So you had ambassadors that was ready to own something. And one thing that we did, we tried to make this a simple look, and it from a person that loves visuals. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of data and it's visuals all the time. I knew that we had to make this user friendly and cut down on a lot of the crazy colors and all of that, because as I understand it, the people that are doing the work, they're concentrating on getting the job done. And so the system has to be easy to use. And I guess my question to you is, from what you've heard and what you experienced, can you tell me a little bit about the simplicity using it? And, yeah.
It is very easy to use. And, we have people that are fresh out of college and are very tech savvy. And then we have some people that are, they're towards the end of their career and getting close to retirement, and they don't love technology so much, but we really haven't had many issues with getting this thing up and running. Just for other people's information, if you haven't implemented new software before, or just an idea you might take that we've done, Bruce mentioned ambassadors, or we've called them super users. And so we'll do some intense training with a core group of maybe 4 or 5 people that cover different departments in the company. And that way everybody knows those are the super users. They can go to them with questions. So when they have problems, if they get stuck, they can't find something they're looking for in the system, they just contact one of the super users and they help them out. Even like drawings. So the next page you're looking at here are drawings. So this is extremely easy to use. Drawings, they can be really a pain if they're not done properly. I think you guys did it well here. So they're really easy to upload. You can take a full plan set, you can drag it and drop it into here. And because this has file recognition, as long as there's a title block on there that has, A11 floor plan, it'll separate the files for you and organize them in here. So, you're not having your estimator or whoever sets up a job is not having to go through, rename every single file, because it's doing it for you. So that's huge. And then, our superintendent, let's say he's got an iPad, he's walking around the job site, he sees something he wants to investigate. He can pull up this list, click on the floor plan, and take a look. Now, there's other things he can do from this as well. He can create a punch list item from the floor plan, or any one of the plans for that matter, because there's a markup tool on there. So we've used that. We've used it for as-builts. Same deal. You can do markups on there if you want to mark up your drawings for as-builts. So yeah, it's very user friendly though.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I know drawings is an area that is heavily used, and there's a standard that's in in the industry, from a technology perspective and managing drawings, and it's good to hear the feedback. I as you know, always love to hear the feedback, good or bad. If it's bad, please let us know, and we always try to correct it. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're using drawings and yeah. Okay.
Photos. This is our photo section. Photos to me are one of the most important tools that we use just in order to communicate back and forth between field and office. Photos are really easy to store within here. The person on site can take a picture. They don't even have to leave ProNovos. They can do it right from the app. Take a photo. They can create as many different albums that they want. It's unlimited. So you can create different albums. You can see how our guy's done it here. He's got rough-in, he's got site work, he's got them all separate. You can do it that, you can do it by date, you can do it however works for your company. But the second he takes a photo in here, it's automatically uploaded. The project manager, if he's got the ProNovos open on his computer, he's going to see it real time. It's going to pop up right there. So between that, we utilize job site cameras as well. So between having these and then having our job site camera, if we've got a dozen projects going on all over the country, we have a pretty good idea at any given time where we're at on the job. So yeah, we love data. Like you said, you know, we're kind of data freaks as well. And we track percentage of projects that are on or off schedule. If we have projects that are off schedule, they get flagged as a hot job, and we have measures that we take to remedy that. So that's why actually we got an award last year from one of our convenience store clients for being the fastest building contractor they had. So that was kind of a cool award. I think our average days for building one of their convenience stores was around 80. So
Oh, I love it. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And high quality too. You can't skimp on quality. Just because you build fast, you still got to build it with high quality.
Yeah. As just another question, as a CEO, president of the company, you have quite a few jobs going on in a lot of different locations. And I know that you can't be in multiple places at the same time, and it's important. I know you have director of operations and all of that, but do you feel that this has helped you as a leader focus on other things to grow the company, knowing that, hey, we're using ProNovos to manage the project and operations. I'm getting the data that I need to run the business. You're a very cool guy, so I know stress is not something that you deal with a lot, but might feel like, hey, I'm not as stressed. I kind of got a handle on things. Have you had that sense, that feeling since we've been working together? And if not, man, I'm okay with that. But I was just curious.
Believe me, I have stress. I might just not show it all the time, but no, it really has helped with being able to have your finger on the pulse of the organization. So I'll go back maybe, let's say 5 years ago, even before we even had any type of project management system. If I wanted to look into how the health of our jobs were, I had 4 different places I had to go. I mean, if I wanted to look at financial health, I had to go into our accounting software. I had to print off a report. I had to go line by line and see how we're doing on our budget. If I wanted to see what's going on in the job, I had to go into the job files, pull up, a bunch of different daily job reports that were done on an Excel spreadsheet, read through them, see how the job is tracking. And you do that for every single project. You spend your whole day just going through job files, just trying to see how you're doing on jobs, versus here you've got I can look at pictures, I can pull them up, see exactly what just happened that day. The daily reports are there. You can see what's going on, what's scheduled for today, what they've got for tomorrow, because our guys will upload their 3-week schedules into here too. And then the financial piece too, which we haven't even got to yet. That's another thing where I can look a snapshot view of the profitability of every job, and if we have gain or fade on any of them.
Nice. I like it. So yeah.
So speaking of daily reports, here's one of them. And this is what superintendent would fill out every day. And it's pretty basic, pretty easy. The weather will autofill based on your location if you want it to. You can fill in notes there though. If you say you had a 1/2 inch of rain, you want to note that on there, you can do that. This is great for tracking delays. Like I talked about, if you've got, you don't have a lot of time on a project, you've got liquidated damages that you're going to get hit with, you better make sure you're tracking all this stuff. And so if you've got photos of a storm that occurred, you've got it marked in your daily job report, it's pretty hard for anybody to argue that you're going to get an extra day out of that of delays. So we also, you've got your crew down here as well, you'll see, and we do self-perform some work. We have carpenters on staff, and so we put in there our people, who was there, how many hours they had, and then also trades that are on site. So our subcontractors will be shown there as well. And so I will say our timekeeping is not done in here. Because our accounting software is tied to payroll, we utilize our accounting software for our timekeeping. But this is just a record of what happened on the job and who was there. But I don't know, Bruce, how some of your other clients, if there's other things they're doing here, if you want to speak to any of that.
Yeah, so going back to the design and the simplicity of the design, making it user friendly, we did that on purpose. But behind the scenes is this workhorse that's always running. We're known to be an analytics company, and that is what we do. But we saw an opportunity to build something and get additional data that will hit our construction intelligence cloud. And so what we're looking at now, these daily reports, the weather conditions, this data that is there, we have clients that are using this information to make certain predictions about what the weather is going to be like next week, and how many people, how it might impact the job site. And so, you talked about tracking time. So I know labor is a major component to many companies. I know, since you self-perform, labor is something that you want to focus on. I think that while we have it in our you haven't really utilized a lot of the labor component of the analytics, but once you get there, it's definitely going to keep things on track, as I'm sure it already is. But there's the opportunity to make adjustments on the fly using that component too. But yeah, I mean, I love what you're saying about this is like a record that you keep. You go back, you can see what happened on that day. And I noticed that we have the PDF. So I'm curious, do your guys communicate and send out like these records electronically to anyone?
We keep the daily reports just in the system, so anybody can go in there and look at them if they need to. We also have given our clients access to certain things in here too. So you can give your clients access to the daily reports if you want them to see it. I actually don't think we're doing that with daily reports. We give them access to photos. That's the biggest thing they want to see. But yeah, and I'll go through here. Let me just go to the next item here and show you some other things that you might want to use it for too, which is this form builder, which is extremely versatile, because using this, you can put you can build any forms, templates, checklists, anything like that you want guys to have. This is just one example. This is a safety meeting, and this one just happens to be on aerial lifts. And so your superintendent can pull that up, have a safety meeting. There's a section at the bottom where he can put in who attended the meeting. And so, it's another record too that you want to have in there. If you have an OSHA violation, they show up, and you have a fall protection issue, and you just had an aerial lift training that morning, and the guy was not tied off in his lift. Well, you can show OSHA, look, we've trained him. We even had a safety meeting this morning on it, and I can't control everything the guy does all the time. And hopefully, you may get a little bit of forgiveness on that, but maybe not. But either way, that's one way that you can utilize that. So we'll do those safety meetings, and then those actually get emailed out afterwards through ProNovos. You can just email it to anybody within the project that you want.
And Scott, sorry.
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You're still on form. So
yeah, I've got a couple more I want to show, just to show the variety of how you can utilize it, because this one is an inspection form. So we do safety inspection. We just do random inspections. If our operations manager, our general superintendent, myself, if we go out and visit a job site, we can pull this up and just walk around the site and do an inspection checklist. And it's pretty simple. It's pass, fail, or not applicable. And then you can attach images if there's an issue. You can take a photo, attach it to the report, and then send that out to the project manager, the superintendent. If there's subcontractors that had violations on there, you can send it to them as well, and they can get them corrected. So from a risk management standpoint, another great thing to have if you ever have an OSHA run-in. Third form I've got up here I felt like relevant with 2020 is our COVID screening form. So if we have visitors that come on site, they just have to answer these questions and sign on here that they're new to the job site. So we've got record of that. I don't know, Bruce, is there other ways you guys are utilizing the form builder with other clients?
So to the audience, I didn't know that I was going to be on this with you, Scott, until last night. So I haven't had a chance to look at what you were going to show. I'm so excited that you decided to show forms because we spent so much time in this particular area. We wanted to make it dynamic so that you can build your own forms on the fly. We didn't care what data you wanted to track, when you wanted to track it. We said, let's make this flexible. Heck, you can even build an application with the forms. And the most important thing that we had to do was make sure that the data that you capture goes to our platform so that you can report and run analytics on it on any data. And I think that was like the coolest thing that we did as of last year. You know, this was our sort of pat ourselves on the back moment. And I'm so excited that you guys are utilizing it and showing it, Scott.
Well, if there's any operations managers, you probably like that part. If there's any accountants that are on here right now, you'll like the next part. And that's how we're using it on the office side for project accounting. So obviously our project manager is using the project dashboard that I already showed you, but we also do job costing and forecasting in here as well. This is our job forecasting report. This is just for a single project that I pulled. So ProNovos pulls data from our accounting software. It does not go the other way. We just have it pull from the accounting software. And then our project managers, they can go in here, and the yellow column you see is the forecast to complete. And so they can make adjustments in here, and they can do it daily. They can do it weekly. At a minimum, they have to do it monthly before we do billing. But they can do it as often as they want here and make adjustments if you need to add $5,000 for some concrete material that got missed in the bid. This is where it goes. And so PMs will make that adjustment there. And what we used to have to do was that it was all very manual. Our project managers they'd print off a job cost report. They'd handwrite on there if they were going to make adjustments to any of their line items. They'd give that back to a project coordinator who would have to enter it in both the project management software and enter it into the accounting software. This has eliminated all that double data entry. They just go in here, they make their adjustments, and then the project coordinator puts it into our accounting software. It's done. And I'd say, it's probably saved us a good 10 hours a week in just extra data entry. When you're running anywhere from 10 to 20 projects at a time, it's a lot of extra work when you're putting them in two different systems. But you take that into consideration along with the fact that ProNovos was about a quarter of the cost of what we were paying before. And I told these guys, I think we're probably saving over 50 grand a year by making the switch.
I like it.
So what we're working on now, and it's getting very close, and Bruce's guys are helping us out with this right now, but this is our work in progress dashboard. So this just has some generic data in here so I could just show you all what we're working on right now. But what happens is on that job cost report that I just showed you, when they make adjustments, all that information gets pulled into this work in progress report. So at a glance, I'm going to be able to see every project we have, any gain or fade that we had from the previous month on profitability, and it'll all be real time. Instead of having to go in and dig through a bunch of reports in our accounting system, I'll be able to see everything at a glance here. We've been testing it out for the last month, and it's very close. I think we're about ready to turn it on full time, but we wanted to run it simultaneously in both systems for a little bit just to make sure that all the numbers were pulling correctly and it was working. But it looks like it's going to work, and yeah, I'm really excited about this piece of it too.
And essentially, you automated the WIP, the WIP process.
Correct.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
God, it looks like we got a question that popped into the chat, and it's how long did it take for Zernco to get up and running and fully onboarded with ProNovos? So I guess how long did it take to take the training wheels off and your team was self-sufficient?
You know, I almost feel like it's not fair because we went through it 3 years ago when we implemented a new project management software. So when we did it originally, it was a good 2-3 months to get everybody real comfortable. Now, when we made the switch to ProNovos, because everybody already kind of knew the drill, it was easy. I mean, within a couple weeks, everything was up and running. It was just a matter of switching from one to the other because guys were already used to taking pictures. They were already used to pulling drawings up out of the app. They were already used to doing their daily job reports in the app. So, I mean, if you're using another project management software right now and you're going to make the switch to ProNovos, it's pretty darn easy. You're not going to have much resistance from anybody. I mean, we just told people, we're like, it just has a different color app, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. So it's pretty easy. Just you'll see when you get into it. Yeah, one of the other things too that I don't know if you want to talk about on what you guys are working on with the financial reporting that I'm excited to get going on would be the financial statement analytics. So looking at like income statement, trend reports, ratios, things like that. I know that's something that is coming out here pretty quick, and I'm excited to get that going.
Yeah, I'll briefly speak on that. Thanks for bringing that up. We've been working on financial data. That's how we got started. We just really wanted to help our construction financial managers, identify opportunities. And so we've been working tirelessly building, you've heard me mention it before, construction intelligence cloud. And we look at it two ways. It's the financial intelligence and it's your operational intelligence. But we want to make it seamless, and it is seamless. So some of the financial reporting that you're able to do is, focus on who owes you money, focus on who's going to, pay you as expected. So it's cash flow. It's an accounts receivable monitor that your AR person can just focus on, and the same for AP. We've done quite a bit on that side. That's again how we got started. It's kind of easy for us, but the thing that I think that some people might not necessarily appreciate is kind of like Google. When you search for something, it looks simple, it's easy, but Google does so much. And with us, it's the same thing. It's that workhorse that's constantly running and trying to help you guys be more efficient. And Scott, the very first time we met, I remember you said, hey, this is what I want. I want to sit down and I want to open up a job and I want to see everything that's going on financially. I want to see, a view into like live view into the camera on the job site. You remember that conversation?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I said, Scott, we could do that. And I think that what makes me feel good as the founder of the company is being a man of my word and being able to deliver on that, because in this business, relationships are everything. And I try to seize the moment and, build that relationship with you. And trust, we sell technology, but trust is one thing that, is earned. And, I think that Scott, it sounds like we have earned your trust, and I'm very, very thankful to have Zernco as a customer.
Yep, absolutely. Our expectations have certainly been met. So, gosh, we're about 5 minutes past our 30-minute limit. I don't want to keep them all on here, but if you guys have any other questions you want to bring up now, feel free to fire away.
Yeah, we kind of went over there a little bit. We only had the one question on how long it took to get fully onboarded. If no one else has any questions, I guess we can wrap up. And thank you, Scott, for your time today, the time and energy you put to put this presentation together, and Bruce, last second add in here. So definitely appreciate that. And everyone in attendance today will be receiving a recording of the webinar. And as you saw, these were screenshots of the platform, and we couldn't go into a live product demo because we didn't want to share Zernco's information. So if anyone is interested in seeing the product live or getting a demo of or getting in contact with us, they can visit our website at ProNovos.com, or in the follow-up email that you should be receiving from us in a day or two. You can also book a time on our calendar to get that process started. So thank you.
One quick thing, Scott. If anyone wanted to reach out to you and ask you questions, I know you're busy, but is it okay if if they contact us and we give them your info?
Yeah, in fact, here, let me just do this right here. You guys see that?
That's awesome.
Yes. All right, there's my email address. If you have questions, if something pops up as you're thinking about it, and you want to use me to bounce some ideas off of, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll get back with you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Scott.
Well, thank you, Scott, and thank you everyone for attending today, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Bye.